Okay, so mainly a progress update because I haven't been doing that much recently when it comes to progress because I kind of grew sick of it and my friends were calling me the entire time. So the the entire launcher effectively works. Now it's down to scripting the missions and then writing that code actually into the game. Now, um, this is single-handedly some of my favorite code. Because the switch camera is, I feel like, hard to work with in some cases. So when I'm doing the switch cameras, it works. So down here, this is the switch index. Mainly because I needed to print it for development purposes, but basically I can walk into the mission and it'll take me to over there with the switch camera thing. So if I press E, it launches me up into the clouds and then it spits me back down over here. Now, if I wanted to say go somewhere else, because this is not that far of a distance to travel in comparison to starting the mission, then we actually have to change the coordinate where we actually want the mission to go. So I will swap to my TCL so that you can see. So this is the vector that creates the actual thing. And with this, we can change the thing. So I was using this one, I think, in development. We change this to 39. We change this to a non-negative. We build the project, and then we can come back into the game. And I'll swap my feed over. So we can come back into the game now, and now that we can just press hotkeys. Hotkeys to actually do it. Now, if we're in the mission circle, we can press E, and then it'll bring us over to the coordinate, and then spit us back down, actually, in the coordinate. And it works perfectly, because the code for it, which I'll share it because it's not like this video is going to go past the unlisted phase. The code is actually, because this is just a call function because I need it to be repeated, but basically up here we get the current vector coordinate so that we can spawn an NPC that just looks like the player from like a higher camera, and then we create the new ped. The new ped kind of just does its thing, and then we initiate a player switch, and we go from this player to the new ped, and the new ped is actually taken to the coordinate that's provided in the arguments. I was just too lazy to, so I made a copy of it, which is bad memory management, but I was lazy, so I'll probably fix it later. We disable all the controls on the player so that they can't like walk and kill themselves. Then we wait a little bit so that the switch doesn't necessarily just immediately transfer, because if this wait wasn't here for like a second, you would see the actual player transmit over to the place, as this is called when a switch is on progress. And then we delete the ped because the ped isn't actually necessary. The ped is more of a stylistic change. And we don't need the ped anyway because the ped effectively is useless after the switch is done. And then we get, if the switch state is equal to 8, and the switch when it's equal to 8, that means it's coming down from the camera. We wait a little bit, then we enable all the actions, and then we stop the player switch. But this is basically useless, I don't think, because the only thing we need is really the pad. But I don't think this does anything. I don't know why this is just, it does nothing. But, whatever. And yeah, so I can call this whenever I want. I ideally want to return a vector for when it's, or not a vector, a boolean for when the camera is down, and I can just check that so that it doesn't necessarily, but it doesn't really matter because we can just do this. We can just call it this if the streaming is done. And then, yeah. this was a debug function. This is also a debug function because I needed to see, you know, what the switch states actually were. And yeah, these are my notes. I've already finished them. I've already finished a lot of stuff. So now we are working on the actual missions and the gameplay. Ideally, it's going to be an assassination type mission. It's not necessarily going to be like a payphone thing. It's not necessarily going to be anything like that, like a payphone hit. It's more just going to be like a, you go to this point, you kill this person, you get some money. That's all. And another thing I want to do is in GTA Online, when you start a mission, the text comes up and it like hides your radar. The text comes up on the screen. It's kind of like got a hue. It goes down here and it says like mission and the name of the mission. That's ideally what I want to do, because if I go actually back over to here, I can actually show that the missions have names that are different. Assassination 1, Assassination 2. This was more of a stylistic change, but you get my point. Another bug, which is kind of annoying, and it's more if you're just in this area than actually being useful. If you're in the area of the marker and you try to switch, or you try to Alt F4, I think even, it just displays a black screen. And that's because of these. These take over the render spot for the other ones, and so this is just effectively a render spot for an alert signal. I still have not changed the survival thing, or like the blue, to make this blue like the stuff on the ground. I've just come to realize that it's just way better to do this. It's just way more nice, I think. It as well differentiate it from the online version. Whether it's necessarily me being stupid or, you know, something else that's kind of fun. But yeah, everything works. I just need to get the mission stuff down and actually start the launcher for the missions. But other than that, actually, everything works pretty fine. So, yeah. So, yeah.